How's it going, everybody? This is CyberKnight-Miky, and I hope you had a wonderful Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, which hasn't been talked about a lot at all, since most of us pretty much want to celebrate the month where about sexuality, which it's been overdue, and it's kind of nice that people actually talk about a specific month, a specific thing that nobody else talked about. But that's due to most of the people are pretty much mental ill freaks that wants to harass people rather than actually caring about the things they support. Yeah, I'm talking about that one. Fight me. Anyway, aside from that rant, I hope you had a wonderful June, and apologies for the lack of updates. I just had a little bit of a summer break, a summer vacation, so I want to take a little bit break from uploading that much and just focus on streaming, pretty much. But aside from that, let's just move this very amazing figure that is much better than the Studio Series 102 Optimus Prime. Yes, I said it. Fight me. Let's move this Chad of the main line figure that, for me, this one cost $25 that I found on Amazon. Which this one is the second one that I bought, which the first one I pretty much sold on Marketplace, and I got this one for more cheaper, which was like $25, which was on Amazon, which was pretty nice. But we're not going to talk about that right now. We're going to talk about the LADoToys Liya Alopex, the repair technician, aka the Mystic Land LADoToys, whatever you want to say. And I got this figure on Gundamit, which you can get in the link to the description, which you can use code Miky, which unfortunately you are not going to get a discount, which I do wish they do that. But you do help me buy more stuff when you use that code. I get points every time you use the code Miky, which is MIKY. But other than that rant, I was pretty interested in this figure, not because this is a anthropomorphic character that is literally a wolf or fox. Either way, it does look like a wolf. But I do love the maintenance tools that she actually includes. And on the side here, you have her pretty much waving at the viewer. And here we have a bio, which she says, "I'm Liya. First time I met you. Do you need anything fixed?" Yeah. My mental health. Okay, that was fucking bad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was so bad. Now, what I do need to be fixed is, what I do need anything fixed is my, keeping my shit together. That's what. But anyway, we have the facial expression she comes with, and the accessories, which she comes with. Pretty much a axe, a hammer, and of course a wooden sword. Pretty much anything that a tactician, repair technician would pretty much come with. Which this does look like a kind of RPG thing, a kind of character that would appear in the RPG game, which makes sense because the artworks that she will include, which I will talk about later, but would actually appear in a video game. And anything like, I don't know, something like Dungeons and Dragons, you know, that kind of fantasy type of thing, which I am a big fan of. So anyway, let's open up this plastic bag, which honestly says, "Please take photos or recording of the unboxing from multiple angles for sale use." But anyway, we also have at the bottom, which, yeah, it actually has a lot of things, both in Chinese and on English, which is nice. And you have the LADo logo, which is the seal of quality. Here we have her pretty much in her angry mode, Angie. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And oh yeah, the 8-bit rendering of her character, which is cute, very adorable. And let's just open up the box and just hear the music or the sound of the video I'm pretty much watching. I'm pretty much doing that because I don't want to just focus on the recording and just pause the video, because if I do that, my computer would just shut down. I'm a very busy man, alright? But anyway, we can look at the window box, that everything comes disattached. And her tail is also disattached, which we will talk about that, because I've seen some comments that the criticism will be on the tail, which I might do a proper review on the reason why if I have time. But for now, let's just open up the plastic prison, and yeah, that's pretty impressive. Wait. Aha! Just like a Studio Series figure, or any figure with a backdrop, like Bandai, you have the 8-bit rendering of the world that she comes from, which is a wonderful, wonderful addition. And actually, I might display this on my, well, display case. You know, if I have room. Hello. But aside from that, it actually looks pretty damn cool, despite being a backdrop. But, of course, this is not the main figure. So let's talk about another thing that is included, actually. Before I do that, let's just put this on the background, just in case. Because I really want to do that. And just like any snail shell figure, she comes with a character card with stats on the side, 186 centimeters. Huh. So over 6 feet. Oh no. You can tell I'm not American. But yeah, the graphic says that whatever this is, she is pretty much very handy. Which makes sense, because she is a technician. So she is very smart. And pretty adorable. Gotta admit. This is actually something that I would imagine something appeared in Zenless Zone Zero. Ah! Of course! I'm stupid. Okay, that is actually pretty funny. Okay, you got me. You got me, Mr. You got me, LADoToys. You got me. Yeah, female, 16? Never mind. Anyway. Whatever. She is fictional. And she's not real. Keep a grip of yourself. But yeah. Okay, I'm just being joking with you guys. But remember, the age of consent is 18, so I'm just joking around, alright? Just give me a break. Let me have some fun. But yeah, that's actually something funny. It's like, oh, I'm gonna fun. Oh, I'm really gonna look at. Oh, okay. No, never mind. Oh, actually, this is actually pretty. I'm gonna be real. That's actually a really good kind of bio. So yeah, the fact that she actually comes with a kind of bio for this figure is pretty nice. I do admit. Ah, so wow. So the strength is okay. Huh, for something that is a tactician, she doesn't have that much intelligence. Whoops. Anyway. Level 1 sword, training, level 20, mechanical appraisal, and mechanical repair. Okay. That all. Anyway, I think this is the oh, this is a thank you. Oh, that's actually pretty nice. I guess this is his name and such. I do gotta hand it to them. They actually do add some very much detail for these figures. Just like Snail Shell, except oops. Let's just at least they don't spell instructions wrong. So yeah. But I do miss that the English from Snail Shell or any company that has the instruction. But yeah, it's nice that they corrected it. But yeah, here we have the articulation, how you should pretty much move the figure and such. You know, something like Snail Shell or any kind of Figma or Essie figures does, which is nice. And of course, shifting down the hips. Yeah, before the drop down, after the drop down, get away. Just shows off how you can pretty much articulate the figure and how you should assemble the figure, which is pretty straightforward. I do appreciate that. So, without further ado, let's take this wolf girl out of the prison box. Actually, is she a wolf? No, Arctic fox. Okay, never mind. She is a fox. I am really... You can tell I'm really fucking tired. It's like 10:20 p.m. right now in Sweden, so give me a break. Anyway, here we have the tail, which, yeah, that's actually... Yeah, okay, I can tell why people kind of have a little bit of criticism, because, yeah, this tail is quite heavy. And, yeah, does have a really nice articulation, but... Yeah, I can see why people have a little bit of a complaint about the tail, because for something that is very chunky, it does kind of give some resistance and kind of makes the figure droop down a little bit, which is a bit of a concern, but once you kind of take a little bit of good care of the figure, you should be fine. Anywho, let's take a look at the other accessory she comes with. Here we have her belt that she includes, which have all 4 spots. Pretty nice. And here we have the accessories that she pretty much comes with, which they are quite small. Here we have the wooden hammer, or sledgehammer, which is really crafty. Holy crap. For something that is small, that is really nicely painted and sculpted. I do love the textures that they pretty much give this hammer. It does look like wood. I will give them that. And then here we have the wooden sword, which, yeah, does look kind of... let's just say, could have used a little bit more kind of grainy texture to look a little bit more appeared like a wooden sword. But other than that, it is very simple. Which could add a little bit more detail, but other than that, it is pretty damn nice. Maybe because this is a card, which does make sense. But hey, at least there is some kind of wooden textures. You know, the veins from, you know, when you kind of shaping the sword from a wood, and it kind of has some grains or grooves, which actually adds a lot of kind of realism to this sword, which I do appreciate that. Anyway, I think we're gonna... Oh, yeah, that's right. Every time you open a kind of a figure or unbox a figure, there's always going to be some accessories behind, which this figure comes with, well, a pair of extra hands or extra joints for the wrists, but she also comes with, if I can get things, well, opened, because this is actually very small, so you do need to be careful. Hold on. Okay, I pretty much got it open. There was another layer of tape. So I take it this is literally pretty much a eye tool for the fox girl, which, if I am correct, yes, I am. And this is a different kind of eye tool for this type of figure, because the eye tool that you had, like, from Snail Shell was pretty much an axle shape. But this is more square, so you can pretty much align the eyes just like any kind of Revoltech or Snail Shell product. However, this one is a little bit more square, so you do need to be careful when you articulate the eyes. Otherwise, you will either break them or do some kind of miscellaneous questionable stuff. You should not make that face, girl. You should not make this face, young lady. Unless this is the medieval time where the age of consent is quite literally 16, which... Yikes. But then again, back in the day, it was pretty fucked. But I do love the face sculpt for the kind of blushing, adorable face. But what really shocks me is the eyes for the angry face, which not only does her eyes kind of shifts from kind of red and orange yellow to pretty much blue, which goes more like a berserk mode, but it kind of feels a little bit odd that she has the blue eyes instead of the reddish eyes, which would have made a little bit more sense. But okay, this is what I'm talking about, because yeah, you gotta be careful when you articulate, because otherwise you will break. Which again, you kind of need to heat it up or do the cotton trick and apply some cotton upon the eyes to lube it up a little bit. But yeah, the face sculpt here, yeah, the gnarly, it does look nice. Could use a little bit more of expression, but you know, a little bit more expressive textures. But yeah, I think other than that, it isn't that bad. And of course, the snout is pretty fox shape. I do love that. Little fox girl being angry. And now we come to the accessories for the wrist, for her hands, and for her maintenance tools, which you get a pair of, two wrenches, one pipe wrench, a regular wrench, a screwdriver, and, pretty much a axe, a tomahawk axe, or just pretty much any straightforward axe, which they do have a really nice quality to them. But of course, you do need to be careful when you handle them. Wait, hold on. Let me just pour this out. Yeah, there are a lot of very expressive and honestly very added detail to the nails. Holy crap. This is a around a $60 figure or 50, doesn't matter. What matters is this is so tiny yet so well applied that I am shocked that this is actually well made. More than just, and that is just a slap to the face like how you did with their Heat Ray Godzilla Evolve. Yeah, I'm still fucking salty about that one because it's still shitty. Good figure, but still shitty. And this one could have been used a little bit more darker coloring, but other than that, this still looks pretty damn well crafted. A little bit of a blob. Yeah, this is the kind of a grabby hand that could have used a little bit more, a little bit more detail and care to it. Other than that, these two grabby hands are a little bit the same. But the rest of the hands, yeah, I think they are, pretty similar to one another, except for the grabby hands. But yeah, they are very well made. Even the regular kind of relaxed hands. Wow, this is actually well made. Holy crap. And the screwdriver and everything else. These kind of tactician maintenance tools actually are very well crafted. And then you have the belt that you can just slide them in, one after the other. Though I do wish that you Do keep note the bigger ones do need to be. Okay, nope, maybe not. Yeah, this, that, and then that. I think. Okay, it's supposed to look like this, but yeah, this is actually pretty damn cool that you can store the weapons, just like another figure that I'm pretty much unboxed and soon to review, which is the Tactical Maid, which also has a kind of a belt that you can store weapons, which is pretty damn cool. I do love figures that can actually store weapons, because that's what good figures do. Actually listen to fans, actually give them what they want. And now let's take a look at the fox lady, or the fox girl, because she is 16 and not a lady yet. Anywho, let's just wrap her up, remove all the plastic protections, which is something that she kind of needs. Don't ask me how. Okay. I don't want to pop off her head yet, because this is still a new figure. But, yeah. The articulated ears are pretty well adorable and very expressive. Hell, you can even make her sad. Oh, nice. Or you can make her happy. And her kind of a... Oh no. Yeah, this is the the hairstyle of a mother. If she ever pretty much becomes a mother, yeah, you know she's going to die. Unfortunately. If you know, you know. But other than that anime joke, the rest of the hairstyle is pretty damn well sculpted. Hell, even her Songus, her Hunks, her massive plot and personality. Yeah, that's actually really well, nicely sculpted. No kind of a splotch of paint, except a little bit here, but that is so small that it can be forgiven. It's so almost pure perfect. It just needed a little bit more, but other than that, it's still well made. It's still borderline perfect. So much care and effort put into this figure, and I think it actually, well, it pretty much exceeds. And you have the sleeves here that also kind of blocks the articulation a little bit, but you can also remove them. Yeah, you can remove them. But yeah, this is actually made to be applied. There we go. Actually, now that I figured about it, let's just remove one of her hands just to show off the feature. You can just give her the grabby hands so she can either hold her one of her tactical tools like the hammer, which I feel like is the wrong damn hand. I don't know. But yeah, I think this is actually how she's supposed to hold a hammer. Yeah. But then again, there's also another kind of accessory that we need to talk about, which is the sword. Yeah, I think she holds the sword pretty well. And now she pretty much has the Link posture. Get it? Because Link is left-handed. Well, pretty much both right and left, but mostly left-handed, which pretty iconic. Hell, she's even have a kind of an armband there, a medallion on her left arm, which is pretty nice. And she also has the goggles, the what? Hold on. On the pose it says metallic buckles and rivets, which yeah, it actually has the buckles and of course the tactician goggles, which does give off her being very well, a very good questman. And you can just what am I even saying now right now? Oh boy, I haven't even drinking soju, but yeah, I'm still fucking. I feel like so sober. Anyway, you just attach this belt here on her thigh just easily, but you do need to be careful when you apply because this is very thin, so you do need to be extremely careful. Though you do need to shift the hips before you attach. Boom. And then you just attach this part. Which I do love that there's actually pins on this one, which is pretty nice. And there we go. Here we have our girl. What was her name again? Liya. Yeah. Here we have Liya with her belt. And now let's hold on. Let's just move our everything else because we're now gonna test her stability. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention about her legs. Pretty basic but straightforward. Very muscular, which makes sense because she is quite strong. Holy crap. And her boots are very, well, tactician. Oh. And she pretty much stands pretty damn well for being a fox girl that needs to carry a lot of maintenance tools. And now let's just attach this very articulated tail that's on both ball joints and a hinge joint here on her bakery. Dear God. Well, then again, many kids do look like adults when they hit puberty. So, like any JoJo character. But yeah, this is what people kind of talk about when it kind of droops down the figure, because the tail really weighs down the joint. However, this is a kind of a fix if you twist this, swivel this hinge, which it is a bit, unfortunately, tricky, but if you, I think you need to rotate it. Is there even a point of rotating this? Yeah, this is kind of a problem because, yeah, I'm not gonna risk it. If it's not a rotation on this part, then it's not supposed to be rotated. But it does help for stability's sake. But if you want some expressive kind of poses, you really need to apply some really, really, really strong kind of lubricants, either kind of a silicone grease or super glue, which you do need to be careful to apply super glue. Only use it if you are expert. Otherwise, I do not recommend anyone under the age of 13 to use it. But it does help to give her stability, which actually does do a pretty good job. As for up, well, sort of. If you align the figure properly, yeah, she should pretty much stand up pretty damn well. Look at that. She stands pretty well. But if you do kind of feel like that everything is lost, like so, you do have the stand. You do have the stand, so not everything is a lost cause. Speaking of which, we do need to talk about the stand, which pretty much like any LADoToys product. Oh, wow, this is actually very nicely grained wood stone road. Huh, concrete road. There is a tab there, so you can just attach it there. And yeah, there we go. It does help for the stability. I'll give them that. Wish that it could have been a little bit bigger, but hey, I'm not that complaining. Just stating that it is a pretty damn nice bit of accessory if you want to display it like so. But if you want to have the tail kind of a post, a little bit more, I do recommend that you use another types of stands to, well, keep the figure up. You know, like a Tamashi H Act 4 stand or a snail shell stand to keep the tail up for more kind of icon, more a little bit more posing for photography and such. Other than that, yeah, I think this figure with a lot of swivels and hinges, I mean, this figure can pose like a motherfucker. This is the type of girl that you will know that she has a southern accent, because she is actually quite expressive. This is just one of the examples I can pretty much give her. But you know that this is the type of figure that would just say, "Howdy there, boy." Wow. Yeah, I'm very sold. If you want a yeah, I'm gonna say, if you really are into this kind of anthropomorphic kind of fantasy character, I will say, if you don't mind the price point of over $60, then yeah, this is actually a good pick, especially for Gundam It, which for like a sushi store that will literally fix the tariff situation if you live in the US. Sure, the shipping is not that fast, but hey, it actually helps the cost for me. And probably for you, if you actually have a kind of a postal, postman that is in, or any kind of delivery kind of delivery service that will screw it up, like UPS or any kind of dumbass thing that Americans have, which I do feel bad for any residents there. But other than that, that is pretty much Liya from Mystic Land, or actually LADoToys Liya Alopex, the fixed version. And this is the first iteration, and yeah, the fact that they are gonna do a cat now, another kind of figure from them, yeah, I'm gonna say this is actually a good kind of pick. Not saying that it's a recommendation, just saying that it is a really good solid figure, and I'm really happy for it. Again, if you do want to have a figure like that, I will suggest that you go into the link in the description and also use my code to help me out. And if you want to see a review of it, well, only time will tell when I'm about to do a proper review, but it will be happening pretty soon. Either way, other than that, I hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for whenever I feel like it. And I hope I'll see you all next time.